What's going on, everybody? It's Jamel Gibbs. Welcome to another video. Listen, so in today's video, we're walking through a property that my realtor and business partner and I just picked up yesterday. We haven't gotten an accepted offer just yet, but we're trying to make it happen. What I'm gonna do today is walk through the property with you, show you how we look at properties as investors, and also kind of talk about the numbers, what to look out for when you're doing rehab style homes. And this is a rehab for us. That's what we plan on doing. So I'm gonna get into the numbers, get into the basics, and hope that you benefited from it as well. Let's get into it. All right, y'all, so we inside the house right now. Got Casey, she's my realtor and business partner. We're gonna walk through this property, see what needs to be done. In this market, and I'm sure you'd agree, this is a great market for fixing and flipping, especially in this particular area. This area is called Lake Jeanette. We ran some comps on this. We literally just found this one yesterday. We put a bid in on another one that was accepted, but after we walked through the property, we made our offer sight unseen, but after we walked through the property, basically we found out, that the property needed more work than we anticipated. So we ended up having to renegotiate that price down. And have we heard back from? We have not. We haven't heard back from that seller just yet. Now that seller just bought that property a couple months. In July, right? Yeah. For how much? For $40K. $40,000, right? And we offered 65. That was our initial offer, $65,000, but then we ended up negotiating down to 50. And we haven't heard back yet. Yeah, 50,000. So we're actually going to partner on that one. So again, Casey is she just sold she just sold the property for me. And, we're also considering flipping together some of these properties as well. So not only is she my realtor, she's also my business partner. So you're going to see a lot more of Casey. So we'll start this way. So this is considered the living space. There's no HVAC system throughout the entire property. All right. So right off the bat, what's the square footage it is? Around 1,100. 1,100. Yeah. So I got a guy who can do HVAC for $5,500. Okay. And if we had to get the ductwork installed, which it seems like, I'm looking at the floor. Yeah, because there's baseboard. Yeah. It seems like we have to get the ductwork. He'll do it for another $1,500. So about $7,000. We could get this whole, especially at this square footage, we could get a whole duct system in. So we need a new roof for sure. New roof, HVAC, windows. We need new windows. We need new HVAC. So yeah. I'm on 1,100 square feet. We'll probably get a roof done for about $6,000, y'all. $6,000, $7,000 on the HVAC system. What are we looking at as far as windows? How many windows we have in this house? Still 1, 2. Always count your windows when you're looking to replace them, because you're going to spend an average of $300 to $400 per window installed. It used to be a lot cheaper than that, like half of that. $200 to $250 you can get it installed for. You counting the windows, Casey? Yeah, 15 windows. 15 windows. So 15 times, let's say an average of $350 installed. We're looking at 15, it's about $5,000. If my math is right. Let me just pull out my calculator. Always have something to write with when you're looking at these houses. And always have a calculator with you as well. Now, this is a bare walkthrough for us because we're not necessarily walking through with a contractor. Our contractor may come up with, we got a pretty good idea of how much these properties need when we walk through them, but a contractor can always come up to a different number or be lower than what we anticipated. So we do a walkthrough, we make an offer, then we'll bring a contractor in and get a written contractor's estimate from the contractor. Because when we take out, let's say, hard money or private money loans, a couple of things a private money lender is going to need. They're going to need it's called a future value appraisal. I talked about this before on my channel. You need a future value appraisal. So what that means is, what can a property sell for in the future once it's completely fixed up, right? So they're going to want a future value appraisal, and then they're also going to want a contractor's estimate. They put that number together. and they'll base the loan amount off of, typically it's 70 cents on a dollar minus repairs, but they'll base that off of whatever the future value appraisal comes in at. All right, so you need two things in order to do fix and flips. First and foremost, you need the ARV, which is your future value appraisal, and then you need a contractor's estimate in writing. So what you say can be completely different than what the contractor comes up with. So you definitely want to. Now, Casey, what she does, she'll run CMAs. So we'll know in advance what we think the property can sell for in advance when it's completely fixed up. What did you on this property? What did you think it came up to?
On this property, depending on the market, 330 to 350. This property it sits on over an acre of land, which that's going to drive up the value in this area. And it's probably going to stay on the market less than 10 days flipped, which as an investor, that's what you're looking for, is to buy it, flip it, sell it as quick as possible. So,
that's right.
Yeah.
Now, if you're ever looking for a realtor, make sure your realtor is investor friendly, right? And what that basically means is the realtor understands how investing actually works. Because I used to be a real estate broker in Brooklyn, New York, so I understand how I understand the mindset of what it's like to be a realtor. But would you agree that most realtors don't understand how investors work?
No. Correct. Yeah. They don't.
They don't understand. Yeah. And why do you think that's the case?
Multiple reasons. I do think a lot of real estate agents get into the business because they think it's glamorous. This side of real estate is not glamorous. Right. I mean, look at the house that we're in. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's a big reason. And number two, it takes a lot of upfront work. You're running numbers. You're looking for deals. You're doing a lot of work that you may not get paid for. And I don't think people will do that. You
got to come in as a team player more so than thinking like a realtor. And I think another thing to add to that, most realtors don't understand, is you have, like, especially in this part of the business, you have to make a lot of offers. Like, how many offers did we make over the last few months that weren't accepted?
Like 10.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's the point, right? So you got to find a realtor that understands, look, I'm going to be making offers below market value because the objective is to make money. We don't pay market value for properties as investors. The best way to find, and Casey actually found me.
I did. A cold call.
Yeah, she did it. Look, she cold called. As a realtor, you don't hear that, right? So she cold called. I had a property. I wasn't even considering selling it, but she said, hey, do you want to sell it? I said, hey, if you could get me this, we could sell it. And she got me the price. So that's what it's all about, right? Again, that just put some extra money in my pocket. And we built a relationship, and now we get to make some more money together. At the end of the day, real estate is a win-win-win type of business. So I got $5,250 for the windows. I was close with the $5,000. I'm gonna say $6,000 on the roof. I'm gonna say, because we got to do siding out there, maybe $7,000 there. Probably a little less than that.
Did you get the HVAC?
Gutters, HVAC, another $7,000. We're already just with the major stuff, not including electric and plumbing, we're at $25,000 in work.
Yeah.
Right? So let me look at this wire right here. So this isn't like terribly old wire right here. Like, this is not knob and tube type of stuff. So, but I don't see, oh, I do. Okay. So the wiring, this is old wiring right here. So some of this wiring we're gonna have to replace. You know what I mean? So let's just say we had to redo the whole house with wiring. Let's call that $7,000 as well. And let's call the house with the plumbing. The plumbing looks pretty, you got the PEX pipe in here, so PEX pipe is cheap. The plumbing is fine. Just me looking at it. I don't even think we have to do the whole house and wiring, to be honest with you. But let's just plug those into the numbers anyway. We can always backtrack off of that, right? So let's just say, I think the plumbing is, just looking at what's sticking out of the floor is fine. You know what I mean? So let's say we don't have to do anything. Let's put $1,000 on the plumbing, because you never know. All right, so we're up to $33,250. That takes care of all of the major stuff. And we do have knob and tube over there in the corner. You see that? See that box? Let's go take a look at that real quick. So this this electric box is called a knob and tube. We used to have this a lot in Pennsylvania. Those houses were like over 100 years old. How old is this house? Do you know?
This house was built in 1951.
1951. Okay, so that's not so bad, right? The houses that were like built in like the 20s and 30s and even before that have knob and tube, right? You want, if you come in, from my experience, if you have a house and it has breakers in it, chances are the electric is updated after 1950, 1960, something like that. I could be wrong with the year. I'm not 100% right, but those are easier, in my opinion, to upgrade as well. And you can get a new box for like $1,000. You know what I mean? So always, you know, when you have this knob and tube stuff, a lot of houses don't operate off of that stuff anymore. So just be careful. You know, if you do, make sure you factor in for an electric upgrade at some point. And this is probably not the only box. There's spider webs all over the place. This is probably not the only box. I'm sure there's boxes. There's probably another box somewhere. I haven't seen it yet, but we'll figure that part out. As far as the foundation, I think the house is pretty sound. This is an extension right here. This used to be like a back deck. I can see the floor in a slant. Yeah, we could. I don't think there's nothing really wrong as far as the foundation. I think it's actually pretty strong, to be honest. And just, yeah, I mean, this is, you can kind of feel that this is just a back deck. You know what I mean? So this is not necessarily living quarters.
The laundry.
The laundry, that's what I'm saying. So you can see they leveled it off right here.
Yeah. You
got the laundry right here, laundry hookup, but.
Their clothesline.
Yeah, the clothesline. This is this is like an outdoor laundry area.
Right.
I don't know if I would keep this like this. We got to figure out what we want to do with this.
No, I would make it a back deck.
Yeah, that's not like open this thing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would do as well. I like that. But this floor, I mean, right now it looks like a pretty sound house. Now, how long has it been on the market?
It's been on the market a long time. So it was under contract, and then it just came back on the market. Before it was under contract, it was on the market 114 days.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get this one.
Yeah, and now it's only been on the market 3 days.
So key tip, y'all: the longer the house has been on the market, the better. Why? Because the person becomes more and more motivated to sell. Who knows what they really have to do with the money? But if the house is sitting, it's not bringing in money, right? The whole point
is costing them money.
It's costing them money. They got to upkeep the maintenance. They got to make sure the grass is cut. They got to keep the codes office off their back, right? So all of these things cost money, and the longer they have it, without it bringing in some type of rental income or some type of income in general, you know, it is a better situation for you as an investor, right? So that's the problem. Number one, the house needs work. Number two, it's vacant. Number three, it's been on the market for a very, very long time. And that, you know, typically when a house is sitting on the market, is only because price.
Right.
Am I right?
Yep.
Price, right? So they were asking too much money. Now, did they have any price drops on this?
They did not, but they actually just bought it in 2021 for $185.
Yeah, they paid too much.
So they paid too much.
So I know exactly what happened. So they bought this when prices were really high during the pandemic, right? They probably had the intentions of flipping it. Yep. Right?
Yep.
They couldn't come up with the money. They saw that they couldn't, you know, by the time they had the money to flip it, it was already too late. So this is where you look for opportunities as an investor. So we're looking for problems to solve. We are problem solvers. We fix problems and we get paid for it.
So that's the other bedroom.
To put some sheetrock in here, this is the other bedroom. So we got 2 bedrooms. It's only a 2-bedroom?
It's a 3. The master, which is super small, is right there. Through the living space.
I would gut that. I would take all that paneling out right here.
And I would, if you could, I would take this wall out.
Open it up. Yep. Because this is the kitchen right here. So this is the hot water heater. That thing doesn't even look that old. Where's the kitchen?
I think the kitchen is in this space too.
Why is the hot water heater in the kitchen? We gotta fix that. So Yeah, this is the kitchen space right here. So I would 100%, I would move this. I would see if we could relocate this to out here. That's not gonna cost a lot of money to do that. We could even use the same tank because this thing doesn't look old at all. It's just dirty. I mean, obviously we wanna verify that stuff, but I would have them relocate this to there. That's obviously that's a foundational issue right there.
Yeah. There was probably a leak.
That's what I'm
thinking. At some point, because that's rotten wood.
Either there's been a leak, or this was too heavy. This has to be done right here. So let's call this $2,000, $2,500 to fix this and move it to that side of the wall. We could put the laundry area. We could even sit it outside on that side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We would just have to build a box around it.
Right.
Kind of like I had at the other house. So let's call that $3,000, right? So let's factor that in. 3,000. So we're at about $36,000, right? But if I subtract some of the wiring, which I'm not gonna, I don't think I'm gonna have to. Let's cut that wiring in half. Say minus 3,000 there. We're back down to $33,000, right? This has to be relocated. Because this is gonna sit ugly in the kitchen. This could be a nice kitchen. I would open this up right here. What was right here?
It's a gas.
Is that gas?
I think
that's copper.
I don't know if this was an old chimney at one point. Or old something.
That's a gas line.
Yeah, that's a gas line.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
We could always close it off too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would take, this might be a barren wall though. You can tell it's kind of holding up. Maybe not. Low barren, what you think?
I hope it's not, because
I think it is. Just looking at this.
Could you add a beam?
We could, yeah.
Take this wall out?
Yeah, we could. We could definitely do that. I would open this up and that side. But we may have to add cabinets there unless we use this wall for cabinets. Who puts a ceiling fan in it? This is the second time I've seen this, man. The house that I bought on Cone, that one had a ceiling fan in it. I'm like, who does that, man? Yeah. Anyway.
It was the style.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So, I mean, this could be, we could do a knee wall here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do a knee wall here, cut this out half, right? Put a countertop over.
Yeah.
And now you got kind of like an open floor feel.
And with this moved, you can do like your sink, overlooking the window right here.
Yeah. Sink, cabinet right here, refrigerator, more cabinets over there, more cabinets over here. There we go.
Yeah.
Right? We could even leave it to where the refrigerator could be right there. This could be a little seating area, eating kitchen style. I mean, by the time the cabinets come in here though, honestly, it's gonna get smaller.
But this is kind of an awkward space. So
this is. You
could just turn this into a great room and have like an eating and like a living space, and then you have your actual living space over there. True,
because that's what that knee wall was gonna do for us. That was gonna create that eating space right there. So, and then we could also knee wall this out right here. We could keep this open.
Like a big,
and leave that alone. Yeah. We could do something to decorate this to make it look good. You know what I mean? I don't think that's gonna cost that much money. Say we gotta put 10 grand for what, bare minimum 10 grand into this kitchen. We're at $43,000 with that. We got appliances and all that stuff. We're talking about, appliances, fixtures, doors, all that is gonna run, let's call that 5 grand. So 48,000. Sheetrock the whole thing out is not gonna cost that much money. Sheetrock and paint, call that 10, right? We're at 53,000.
Which it looks like they started taking the panel off. You see they left some right there?
Yep.
So they definitely bought this as a intention to flip it.
Yeah.
And probably ran out of money.
This gotta go, man. This is how key tip for you. So whenever you got paneling on the walls, back in the day, it used to, what do you say, 60s and 70s?
Yeah.
60s and 70s it used to look good, but the problem with these, they hold roaches behind them. They hold bugs. I own a property, I own several properties that had this stuff, and every single one of them, if I didn't tear it out, accumulated roaches. So, and that's from the tenant. Yeah, it's disgusting. You know,
so this is the primary suite. So it's really small for a primary suite. So I would, if you could move
here's
this
the doors
wall.
right here. We can refinish these things. Those things look good. So that saves us a little bit of money actually. But I just got the hookup. Yeah, these doors are old. I got the hookup on the frame with the door for $350 a door. You know what I mean? So that's why I calculated $5 grand. Yeah, so what were you saying about this?
I would move this wall out that way just a little bit, if you could.
Make the room bigger?
Yeah.
Master.
Yeah.
Master. Because then you got the 2-bedroom. You know what I do like about this? So this has, so yeah, we can make, because that's a great room right there, technically. This is a living room, great room, whatever you want to call it, right? We could move this over 2 feet, right? So technically we'll be right around here with it, right? Or closer to the window, maybe not necessarily 2 feet, but right off that window. So maybe a foot. We move it out 1 foot, that changes the game. What I do like about this master back here is private, and you still got the 2 bedrooms on the other side. So that's a good selling factor. Plus you got the master bath right here. Put a shower in there.
Yep.
You know, do we have space? Nah, this is a good sized closet. You can put a small tub in here.
I would do not do the
shower.
tub, but just the shower for the primary suite. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this ain't one of those houses where you're gonna got the toilet, the shower, this ain't one of those houses where you're gonna you don't have a jacuzzi and all that. And it's just not it.
Right.
It doesn't have the space. We could probably put $6 grand into this bathroom right here and really make it nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So master suite, another 10 grand. What you think?
10 grand. Yeah.
Yeah, and that
Maybe
takes care
more.
of everything. You feel like more?
I do.
Really?
I feel like once you start knocking down the walls in here, things are gonna come up.
Yeah, we don't want to knock down those walls.
Yeah, but like that looks
Oh yeah.
a little suspicious.
You have some mold down there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we figure 15 in the 15 master suite, and that's to move over this wall as well. Right? So key tip, I'm hitting y'all with key tips today, right? Your money needs to go in the kitchens and baths, right?
Yep.
But the master suite is a selling point. Kitchen is a selling point. Everything else, you could kind of, you know, you don't want to cheap out, but you could really cut. I don't like to use the word cut corners, but you really can. You know what I mean? As long as it's done properly, you don't have, better way for me to say it, you don't have to spend as much money on the rest of the house. The money needs to go in the areas that are going to sell, right? So we move this over, we make this room bigger. That bathroom, we put some money into that thing. We put the money into the kitchen. The rest of the house, we can make it, especially with just taking off these panels and also rearranging some of this floor plan. You know, with the new sheetrock alone, it's going to look like a new construction home.
Yeah.
It's just a fact.
Yeah.
Right? So
I like the exposed brick.
Yeah.
I'm into that, so I would leave.
I like that.
look.
I think it needs to be throw some polyurethane on it or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do like that. I just did one in my house. I painted this kind of like an off-white, and I put a black
Mantle.
a black mantle. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking we could do something like that, or we could keep the exposed brick. You know, I think that when I painted it in my house, I had the guy paint it. It really brought out. It's like a centerpiece in my house right now.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. So
Looks like there was a leak, and they tried to.
yeah, definitely a leak. I still haven't seen the furnace, man. So that's inside. I mean, right now we're at about $55,000 in rehab costs. This bathroom, we could put probably $3 grand into it. It has the tub, new toilet bowl, dual flush. Dual flush, this has a shower, so there wouldn't be, if we don't put a tub in there.
There's not a tub in there?
There's not a tub. No, it's just a shower. So if we don't put a tub.
Would you want to keep the shower that's here or change it?
I would put a tub here.
Yeah, I would put a tub there.
Yeah.
It's also dirty.
Yeah, this is filthy. I would put a tub here, so at least we have one tub in the house. I would also, like the way they have this set up is funky. You see this? Like, who puts a toilet bowl on who does that, right? So I would flip-flop this, switch them. You know, so that's an easy fix. Yeah. Take off this cheap, this ain't even tile.
Tile. Yeah, it's plastic.
That's that surround stuff. Yeah, so, and that's up to the attic right there. Not a lot of room up there. So, I mean, I think we could put maybe $4 grand into this and it'll be nice. So 60,000. So we're at 60,000. That should cover everything. Take off this. You see this right here? This look like this door right here. I remember watching Friday when I was young, right? See, when I grew up in a project, so we didn't have these. But when I saw Friday in Compton, they had these, right? They had bars in the windows. Usually when you're in a not so great neighborhood, and this is actually a really nice area. I'm surprised they got this on it. But usually, when you got bars in the windows, it's to protect the home. You know what I mean? But yeah, this got to come off. We outside now. We outside, y'all. This is a nice carport.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It is.
Obviously, it needs to be a different color. We could fit probably 3, 4 cars on this thing. Nah, 3.
2. Comfortable.
2? Yeah.
I don't know.
My truck could fit. My truck is kind of long, so you figure that truck going. Yeah, 2. How much land does this property have?
It sits on roughly 1.5 acres.
And that's a good amount of land. So that's all of this that we're looking at. All these trees wrapped around. That's good.
And you're close to Lawndale.
Right there. Something is dead out here. I smell it.
It's probably in the crawl space.
Yeah, something's dead. It smells like a dead animal. It's funny because you don't smell it inside the house.
Yeah. Got some drainage stuff.
Yeah.
Which that's going to affect the structure of the property.
Yep. I'm honestly thinking we're at like $70,000 to $80,000 in rehab on this thing. To get it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you got a well-developed neighborhood right there.
Yo, that's a really nice neighborhood. Yeah. So that's going to help our comps.
Yep.
Big time. Yeah, this has to be done right here. I don't know. Did they slap a roof on this thing already?
I don't believe
didn't.
So.
They didn't. They didn't. I could tell. We're at what, 350,000 on the ARV, you think?
I would shoot for 330.
So 330. Could you multiply that by 0.7 for me real quick? And somebody asked us on one of my previous videos, why do we want a 30% spread? It's because number one, we don't work for free, right? So we got to have a profit built in. So that 30% covers profit and costs of the money to hold the property and all of that stuff as well. So that's why you factor in the 30%. That 30%, typically we want to make at least 20 of that, and then the other 10 is going to take care of your holding costs and all that stuff and interest and stuff like that. So that's why you factor in, you got to have some type of breathing room. You got to have room for negotiation if you have to sell a little cheaper, right? So let's say we don't sell it at 330, we sell it at 320, that comes out of our pocket, but we factor all that into that 30%. You know what I mean? So 330 times 0.7 is how much?
231,000.
231, and let's say $80,000 in work.
So we are at 151K.
That's exactly what we needed to be, right?
Yep.
Now, yesterday, our numbers were a little higher. because we didn't see that.
We didn't see the inside.
Right.
Yeah.
So they were asking 195.
Pictures are deceiving.
Very, very
Pictures
deceiving.
are deceiving.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So they're at 195 on the asking price.
Yep.
So
and they paid 185 in 2021.
So they're gonna take a hit.
So they're gonna lose money.
They're gonna lose money.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They're gonna lose money. And the longer they hold on to this, it's just gonna continue to drain them. So we're gonna offer $140,000 on this house with the intentions of going up to 150, maybe 160. They're asking 195, and this house is worth 330 comfortably. You think we could squeeze a little bit more out of that?
We could. For numbers, I like to play it safe.
Boom.
So, yeah.
That's exactly why I asked that question. No matter what, you want to be conservative with your numbers. You want to estimate your repairs, and you want to underestimate how much you think you could sell a house for. So that way, if it costs you less money to get it done, it's more money in your pocket. If you can sell it for more money, that's more money in your pocket. But you don't want to be too aggressive with a deal. Mm-hmm. You know, I work with a lot of people, a lot of students, and a lot of people fall in love with the house. They fall in love with trying to find the deal, but they don't fall in love with the numbers. So when you have to make a lot of offers, again, you heard Casey, we made 10, 15 offers over the last couple months. None of them were accepted, right? Why? Because we're not falling in love with the house. We're looking for a deal. And if we can't make the deal work, there's no deal. I'm not in the business of losing money and overpaying for properties. I'm in the business of solving problems and making profits. And the only way to do that is to get the house at the right number, right? So whenever you're making offers on properties, just remember, do not fall in love with the property. If you can't get the deal, don't get the deal. I guarantee you make 20, 30, 40 of those offers using your formula where you need to be, somebody's gonna say yes, right? You just have to be willing to play the long-term game. And most people are not. And that's why most people can't handle being in this business. It takes hard work. This is hard work, walking around these properties and got ticks all over the place. You know what I mean?
And
messing up my J's.
Kind of back to what you were saying about numbers. As a real estate agent, you always want to keep in mind the market shifts. Right now, we're kind of in a weird market, so that needs to reflect in the numbers as well. So that's why I agree, like, just stay a little bit conservative when it comes to numbers. So.
Yeah, and be careful who you listen to, who you getting information from. You know, make sure whoever you listen to, I don't care who it is, just make sure they're actually doing what they say they're doing. You know, people I bring on this channel, they're active. They're in the business. They know exactly what they're doing, just like me, right? I've been doing this for over 20 years, actively. You can't look back 20 years and say, I can show you the records. I've done that already. Showed you the HUD sheets, hundreds of them, right? And the point is, you know, even in a shifting market, if somebody used to invest a couple of years ago and, you know, they're trying to teach you how to do it right now and they're not actively doing it, they don't know that the market is shifting. You know, they don't know some of these things that we're talking about. Just focus on people that are active, actually doing the business, and then apply. You have to put in the work. If anybody tell you it's going to be easy, they're lying to you. You hear me tell you all the time. This is not an easy business. It's not for everybody, but the payoff on the other end can absolutely change your life. All right? So I hope you guys benefited from today's video. Be sure to like it, subscribe, click the notification bell. You're gonna be seeing a lot more Casey on my channel as well. Again, we're doing a lot of business together, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Awesome. Bye, guys.